DWBR of the Philippine Broadcasting Service. 104.3 on FM. Music and talk. Nice and easy.
The time is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon. Here now is the midday edition of the PBS Network News, September 14, 2013. In the news, Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Abigail Valte clarifies that no ceasefire has ever been implemented in the ongoing hostilities in Zamboanga City. Valte said the MNLF continued to fire at government positions, which made the troops to fire back.
This morning, Defense Secretary Voltaire Guzman clarified that the ceasefire has never been implemented because the attacks of the MNLF Miswari armed elements continued throughout the night against both the military and civilians. Therefore, AFP and the PNP operations continued throughout the night and will continue as necessary. We have detailed several subjects under the bulletin. We will send out now to the press corps so you can see the rest of the facts and part of the transcripts of the interviews of Colonel Zagala, the AFP spokesperson, that was given this morning for your information as well. And also we note that the President again visited the evacuees today in Zamboanga City and assured them that there will be sufficient food supply for everybody and that all the concerned agencies of the national government continue to assure the affected residents in Zamboanga City of our continued support and assistance.
Valte also confirmed that President Aquino is still in Zamboanga and has ordered the troops to finish the situation at the most possible time and bring normalcy in the area.
Nabanggit ng Pangulo kanina na we want this finished, we want this situation resolved in the soonest possible time para masimulan ho natin yung pagtulong din natin sa lokal na pamahalaan para maibalik na ho dun sa normal ang pamumuhay sa Zamboanga City. At mula naman ho nung nagsimula ay nandyan na rin ho ang pambansang pamahalaan para tulungan ho ang lokal at ang mga kababayan ho natin dyan sa Zamboanga City. Tama po yun, kahit ho nung simula ay yung mga pambansang ahensya po natin ay naki-coordinate at nakiplano po doon sa crisis committee po dyan sa lokal.
Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Abigail Valte. AFP Public Affairs Chief Colonel Denny Zagala says the AFP has conducted calibrated military response against the MNLF in order to protect the civilians in Zamboanga City. Zagala assured that the military will do its mandated duty to protect the populace. He stressed that the civilians remain as the victims in hostilities such as that in Zamboanga. He said a visit of President Aquino in the Zamboanga frontline has extremely boosted the morale of the soldiers in the field. Zagala denied that the ceasefire has been declared.
Ang ating kasundaluhan ay patuloy na inaatake ng MNLF Miswari faction. So hindi po natin sagutin itong mga pag-atake na sa tigil putukan, wala pa. Ang ating Pangulo ay dumating dito at nagbigay siya ng importansya sa ating mga sundalo na nakita niya na patuloy ang paninilbi sa pagproteksyon ng ating bayan. Kami po ay lubos na natutuwa sa kanyang confidence sa kanyang kasundaluhan. Siya po ay nagdala ng mga cell cards at pagkain para sa amin at nakita namin ang malasakit ng aming Commander-in-Chief at kami ay lubos na bibigay ng pugay sa kanya at patuloy namin gagamparan ang aming trabaho at ang aming mission ay patuloy namin lubos na gagawing successful alang-alang na sa ating taong bayan at ating Pangulo.
In the meantime, Zagala assured the armed forces is ready to press the Zamboanga fight against the MNLF. Zagala denied reports that supplies such as food and ammunitions for soldiers are limited. He assured there are sufficient food and bullets for the military to end the combat situation they are facing now.
ang ating sundalo, mula na nag-umpisa itong kaguluhan na to, ay napagplanuhan na natin ang ating supply. Mula sa ating bala, sa ating pagkain, lahat po yan ay na-factor in at yan po ay ready. Kung ang mga kababayan natin ay medyo nakita na kumakain ng lugaw ang ating kasundaluhan, wala naman po tayong issue na pagkain ng lugaw. Siguro po nakita nila ay mga bigay po ng mga kababayan natin na siya sa ating mga kasundaluhan. Kami po ay sa ngayon well-stocked, well-supplied. Kung meron man tayong kasundaluhan na hindi makakain yan ay dahil po we are pressing the fight. Nandun po sa unahan. Choice na po ng kasundaluhan natin yan. Ang sanay po kami sa ganitong ang inuuna namin na emisyon bago kami kumain. Sana po huwag isipin ng kababayan natin na ang mga kasundaluhan natin ay pinababayaan. Hindi po totoo yan. Well-supplied po tayo. Lahat po ng kinakailangan pagkain, bala, logistic, ating tinutuburan. Kaya sana po, gusto ko pong i-correct itong mga kumakalat na balita. Sana po huwag pong gawing malisyoso porque nakakita sila ng sundalo na kumakain ng lugaw. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na yun lamang po ang pagkain nila. Well supplied po ang ating kasundaluhan. Lalo na sa bala, meron din umiikot na balita na wala na pong bala. Hindi po totoo yun. Napakadami po natin bala. We're ready for this fight. We're committed and we're ready.
AFP Public Affairs Chief Colonel Dennis Zagala. Explosions and sounds of gunfire were still heard early Saturday in Zamboanga City, the site of fighting between government and MNLF. DND Secretary Voltaire Gazmin said there is no ceasefire as the MNLF do not stop firing. Earlier, Vice President Jajamar Binay claimed the ceasefire agreement has been reached. Gazmin said Binay called him up Friday night and the Vice President said he can reach out to MNLF founding chair Nur Miswari. Binay asked if Gazmin would be amenable to a ceasefire. Gazmin said he told Binay the military would not fire shots only if the MNLF would also stop firing. But explosions and the sound of gunfire were heard this morning. On the other hand, police operations against the MNLF continued before dawn Saturday. The death toll from nearly a week of fighting between government and Moro National Liberation Front forces in Zamboanga rose to 52. AFP Public Affairs Head Lieutenant Colonel Ramon Zagala said at least 52 had been killed, including 4 civilians and 43 MNLF members. Zagala assured despite the 5 casualties incurred by the military, government troopers will press the fight in order to protect civilians. At least 46 government forces were wounded in action. Zagala also said at least 19 MNLF members have surrendered or have been captured so far. On the other hand, he said 20 civilians were wounded. Residents who were evacuated due to the conflict in Zamboanga City rose to 24,000. The DSWD said the evacuees were spread out in 26 evacuation centers. The DSWD said lack of food in the conflict area forced them to evacuate from their residence. Some residents, particularly members of Bajau and Sama, have even decided to take residence in boats which numbered around 200. The Philippine Red Cross has temporarily pulled its teams out of areas of Zamboanga deemed critical due to continued clashes between government and MNLF forces. PRC Secretary General Gwendolyn Pang made the announcement after at least 11 Red Cross personnel were injured in a mortar explosion in Zamboanga. Pang said the Red Cross will temporarily pull out from the place but will remain to mobilize its resources in Zamboanga to continue to help. Following his release from captivity, a Zamboanga priest aired concern for his father and other hostages still being held by the MNLF in parts of Zamboanga City. Zamboanga Archdiocese Administrator Monsignor Crisologo Manonga said Father Michael Ufana is otherwise in good spirits. Manonga said Ufana is still worried about his father and the rest of the hostages still being held by the MNLF. The MNLF freed Ufana early Friday, days after seizing him and members of his family along with other civilians in Barangay Santa Catalina. Ufana's mother and his 2 siblings escaped while the MNLF forces were fighting with government troops. Malacanang says US President Barack Obama's visit to the Philippines next month will help expand security ties with its longtime Asian ally. The Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C. said President Obama's visit is scheduled on October 11 and 12. The White House announced that Obama will make a four-nation Asia tour to Indonesia, Brunei, Malaysia, and the Philippines from October 6 to 12. President Obama will meet President Aquino to discuss ways to further strengthen the enduring Philippines-U.S. alliance, including the expansion of security, economic, and people-to-people ties. Philippine Ambassador to Washington, Jose Cuisha, said the visit underscores the importance President Obama places on the enduring alliance between the U.S. and the Philippines, as well as his regard for President Aquino's leadership. Although they come from different churches, leaders of evangelical and born-again Christian groups in the country banded together to organize what they claim to be an anti-pork barrel bigger rally than the Million People March. Representatives of Christian groups led by Jesus is Lord, or JIL founder Eddie Villanueva, said they are going to hold a massive prayer rally against corruption on October 25 at the Quirino Grandstand. Villanueva said the born-again churches are aiming to gather 1.5 million Filipinos to attend the massive event. Despite being organized by born-again Christian leaders, Pastor Ed de Guzman of the Intercessors for the Philippines said the event will be an interfaith gathering. Last week, CBCP announced its support for the anti-pork vigil dubbed EDSA Tayo, held on Wednesday. Pag-asa says a tropical storm approaching from the east may enhance the southwest monsoon in the coming days. But state weather forecasters said a tropical storm is not likely to enter the Philippine area of responsibility. Pag-asa forecaster Meno Mendoza said the tropical storm with the international code name Manyi is heading toward southern Japan. Mendoza said Pag-asa does not expect it to enter the Philippine area of responsibility. But as it reaches southern Japan, it may enhance the southwest monsoon. The southwest monsoon brought heavy rain to Luzon last August, flooding several areas including Metro Manila. For now, Mendoza said the monsoon, though affecting Luzon, may bring rain to Metro Manila. Pag-asa says Metro Manila and Central Luzon and Ilocos, Cordillera, and Cagayan Valley may expect cloudy skies with light to moderate rain showers and thunderstorms. The rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms, mostly in the afternoon or evening. Meanwhile, Pag-asa says light to moderate winds from the southwest to south will prevail over extreme northern Luzon and coming from the southwest over the rest of the country. The coastal waters throughout the archipelago will be slight to moderate. Motorists may have to find alternate routes in parts of Quezon and Caloocan cities this weekend as sections of 6 key roads will undergo repairs. The DPWH said 5 of the sections to be repaired, which started last night at 10 p.m. are along EDSA. Quezon City, 3rd lane northbound segment of EDSA from Iglesia Ni Cristo to Seminary Road. 3rd lane southbound segment of EDSA from Roosevelt Avenue to West Avenue. Northbound lane of Araneta Avenue from E. Rodriguez Sr. Avenue to Caliraya Street. Caloocan City, 5th lane of EDSA southbound of Monumento Circle. 1st lane of EDSA northbound after Bank of Makati to Asuncion Street. And 2nd lane of EDSA northbound from Bonifacio Market to Monumento Circle. In other news, 2 suspected Chinese drug pushers were arrested and some 50 kilos of methamphetamine hydrochloride were seized in an anti-drug operation in Las Piñas City. Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency operatives conducted a sting operation at Pamplona 2 in Las Piñas City. PBS spokesman Derek Carrion said the 50 kilos of shabu had a street value of 250 million pesos. Also seized from the 2 Chinese was a Mitsubishi Montero type sport utility vehicle. Carrion also said they are verifying what syndicate the 2 Chinese belong to. In Boston, 2 college friends of accused Boston Marathon bomber Tsarnaev pleaded not guilty to charges they have helped cover his tracks when the FBI was trying to find the people responsible for the April 15 attack. The appearance in federal court in Boston of a third man charged in the same case was postponed until later on Friday. All three are charged with going to Charnev's dorm room 3 days after the bombing, where they removed a laptop and a backpack containing empty fireworks shells. Diaz Kadirbayev of Kazakhstan pleaded not guilty to the charge of obstruction of justice and could face 25 years in prison or deportation. His lawyer said after the hearing, Kadirbayev did not understand what Charnaev had done. Robel Philippos of Cambridge, Massachusetts, pleaded not guilty to charges of lying to investigators and could face up to 16 years in prison. That's the news to this hour. I'm Cherryl. Buenaventura, Ayuste.
This is Business Radio.
The time is 15 and a half minutes after 12.